Plot Thick. My name is Naive. In this episode, I am reviewing Cyrano. Cyrano is an adaptation of Edmond Rostand's verse play about the classic love triangle entitled Cyrano de Bergerac. This film was directed by Joe Wright, who also directed Darkest Hour and Atonement. He has been nominated for a BAFTA for this film. This script was written by Ericka Schmidt. Her screenplay is also nominated for a BAFTA this year. Ericka's husband, Peter Dinklage, plays the title character, Cyrano de Bergerac. There's the light. Other stars of this film include Haley Bennett, who plays Roxanne. She was most recently in Hillbilly Elegy. Kelvin Harrison Jr. plays Christian. He's in everything, but you'll see him next in the film Elvis, which I believe drops in June. He's playing Blues King, B.B. King. Elvis drops again in June. And Bashir Salahuddin, he is the co-creator of the hilarious sitcom South Side. There have been many iterations of Cyrano over the years. Most notably, a classic one from my heyday is Roxanne, which was adapted by Steve Martin. And it starred him and Daryl Hannah. Cyrano was one of the best musicals in 2021, in my opinion. The basic premise is a peculiar looking soldier and poet sees himself like the world sees him, as an odd-looking freak, quote-unquote freak. And while the love of his life, Roxanne, sees him as a brother and confidant, he commits to caging his love for her, even though her deepest desire is to be loved and not saved. She wants to be truly, authentically loved. She longs for it. But when she confesses to Cyrano that she has fallen in love with one of his subordinates in the military, who's more brawn than brains, Cyrano shelves his love to make Christian, the seemingly love of Roxanne's life, to make her believe that Christian is a romantic and a poet. Ben Mendelsohn, he plays a count and commander of the French army who loves Roxanne and is running out of patience because she does not love him and she does not want to tell him. She likes milking him and stringing him along because he can afford to take her to the plays that she likes to see. Roxanne finds Cyrano funny, so he does whatever it takes to distract her from the man or that count that she should not be with, and any other possible love interests that she might come into contact with, including the count. But because she loves Christian, Cyrano must build Christian into a formidable partner for Roxanne, because his goal in life, as he makes clear, is to love Roxanne from afar, because he is frightened to tell her how he really feels. So Cyrano writes beautiful letters and poems to Roxanne, wooing her for Christian, pretending to be Christian, hoping that it will strengthen their bond because he knows that she deserves love, even if he can't have her. And Cyrano's plan works for a while, but conflict escalates because the Count gives Roxanne an ultimatum. If she doesn't give in to his conquests and marries him, then he will send Cyrano and Christian to the war and on the front lines. So she convinces him to go instead because she claims that she wants a brave man in her life, someone who doesn't fear the war. And it works. So he doesn't, the Count doesn't send Cyrano or Christian. Soon Christian thinks he can handle Roxanne on his own, that he has built a strong enough bond where he does not need Cyrano's help anymore with writing the letters, and he claims that he knows what to say, that he's learned enough, and so he quote-unquote fires Cyrano, and Cyrano lets him know that he is not ready yet because he, more than anyone else, knows Roxanne. But he fires him anyway. Cyrano knows that he's making a mistake, but he lets him make that mistake. Christian puts his foot in his mouth, and Roxanne questions whether she loves him or not. Cyrano must save Christian from his failure because he refuses to let Roxanne be heartbroken. Cyrano, that's the last thing he wants. Cyrano ends up speaking for Christian because Roxanne again has questioned whether she really loves Christian, because in person he does not appear to be the poet she thought he was. So Cyrano speaks as Christian and the shadows to reel Roxanne back in, and for a moment he convinces himself that Roxanne will open her heart to him and love him despite how he looks. Christian abruptly steps in the moment he sees that Cyrano loves Roxanne, and he wants to keep her for himself. But soon enough, the Count returns. He sends before him a minister with an ultimatum and says that if Roxanne does not marry him tonight, when he gets to her house, that he will in fact send Cyrano and Christian off to war and make sure that they are on the front lines. And if she refuses to marry him, remember this is the 17th century, that he will take her for himself, that he will make her marry him. Well, she tricks the minister because he does not read this letter. So she tricks this minister into marrying her and Christian on the spot so that she won't be forced to marry the Count. Well, the Count arrives to find them married. Because he is embarrassed, ships Christian and Cyrano off to war. Christian is sick with love. He has no fight left in him. So Cyrano continues to write these letters, these love letters to Roxanne as if he's Christian. When Christian reads Cyrano's last letter, he throws himself on the front line and succumbs to gunfire, realizing that Cyrano does love Roxanne, and he also loves her, but because he wants Roxanne to be loved by someone who truly loves her more deeper than he can, he doesn't want to live anymore. And he had earlier fought with Cyrano that Roxanne choose who she wants to be with, that she should not be manipulated by either of them. If Cyrano loves her, then he needs to tell her, setting his ego aside. And if she prefers Cyrano, then she should be able to decide on herself without manipulation that he is the one, or that her husband, Christian, is the one. Cyrano is not convinced. He still believes that he must love her from afar. He believes that Roxanne will not accept him as he is. And Christian says, what type of person do you think she is? She's authentic. She will love you as you are. He tries to convince Cyrano, but his ego won't let him believe it. So Cyrano tries to prevent Christian from throwing himself on the front line in front of gunfire, and he takes fire himself. And he survives for a while, but keeps himself alive just long enough to build up the courage to tell Roxanne the truth, that he has always loved her. He dies in her arms, confessing that he let his ego rule his entire life and their entire friendship, instead of believing that they could have had real love and that they had a real chance at love because of her character. The sound, which is a fantastic story. Ericka Schmidt did not veer too far away from the original IP, from the original material. I think she did a fantastic job with this screenplay. The soundtrack is absolutely exceptional. The cinematography, it's great. It's neutral with rich, earthy tones and texture. This takes place during the 30 Years War. So while soldiers are dying on the battlefield, hearts at home are longing for true love and hope. Such a drastic extension of failed love. And how love is a battle we fight within ourselves, a war we fight within ourselves, because the world has retrofitted love into an idealistic box to look and feel a certain way. This is an eccentric telling of this classic love triangle, or quadrant, if you will. Peter Dinklage is such a great actor. I think he should have been nominated for an Oscar for this film. This is one of the best musicals, in my opinion, of 2021. It finally has a wide release and is available in theaters now. I highly recommend this film, especially if you like musicals and you like romantic comedy, dramedy, period pieces. This has all the ingredients. If you love those genres, I think everyone in this film did it. Haley Bennett, oh my goodness, she is so fantastic in this film. I think everyone did a great job. This is a very, very good film. If you can find it still in theaters, please see it or catch it on demand. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. Please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you so much. We have 19 days until the Oscars. Thank you. I am so excited. But I'm rooting for Will and all of the women and Jane Campion. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to catching you on the next one. Bye.